You're watching the Jennylyn Show, and today I have another fascinating young man to share with you. Keith Andrew is my guest, and we found each other on the internet. Keith, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on the Jennylyn Show, even though we're just on Skype.
Hey, it's the thought that counts, right?
Right. And I am very grateful because you have had many challenges in your life. And you have not allowed those challenges to stop you. But you have reinvented your life and you are living in your passion. Can you share with me and my viewers what that is?
No, absolutely. We'll start off from the start. It's Keith. My name is Keith Andrew. For people who are watching, it's real honor to meet you. All you viewers out there can follow me on Twitter at KeithAndrew88, Instagram. That's right, Instagram at the KeithAndrewNetwork. I almost said .com, but that's my website. You can also see my website, KeithAndrewNetwork.com. So it's similar to my Instagram name, only without the .com. But for people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. But you should never give up, and you should prove to people you can still amount to something and prove people wrong. Show them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and you can hashtag break the labels.
Awesome! I love it. Now, Keith, tell me what it was like being a little boy with your disabilities.
Alright, I'm
And listen, Keith, if I ask you any question you don't feel comfortable answering, just tell me skip.
That's fine.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm the youngest out of 4 brothers and 1 sister. And I'm sometimes the black sheep of the family because I bring stuff on myself. It's okay, I admit sometimes I do bring stuff on myself, but usually I don't do it on an everyday basis. It just, it happens. So, I had a decent childhood, growing up. I would say so.
Okay. Well, in an earlier conversation, you mentioned being bullied.
Yes.
And having people tell you things that weren't very kind. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that and how it made you feel?
Because I do suffer from depression and social anxiety. I tend to rub people the wrong way. I have poor people skills. And even with my own family, I have poor people skills. So when I do something wrong, I'm always be called, a retard, an idiot, an asshole. And when I went to school, it's the same way. The teachers and students didn't know what to make of me. So they would actually just, do whatever. So, it doesn't matter, people who I live with, people I worked with, people I knew in acquaintances, so people are like, oh, he says the R word, he says retarded, or does that bother you? But, the truth is, I heard it all my life. It's pretty much normal to me. Yeah, I'm sick of hearing it, but, it's normal because I heard it on an everyday basis. Like, I do things, say, it's out of left field, or I do things that bring stuff on myself. And I'm not saying I'm special, and I know I have a lot of problems. And I do apologize for people that I gave the wrong impression to. But that's trying to find the words for it. I'm not trying to ass kiss or anything. I am who I am. I have no filter. I walk to the beat of my own drum. I don't drink. I don't smoke. And I just do what I feel I'm comfortable doing. And unfortunately, that rubs people the wrong way. And I do make mistakes along the way. I'm only human, but I'm not perfect.
Do you have a lot of friends?
Acquaintances, yes. Friends, not really. I'm still
Oh,
working on that.
okay. Now, you said you have a disability, so clearly the reason why you aren't, well, the way people think you should be is because of your disability.
Yes.
And aren't people compassionate? Can't they see you're not a bad guy? This is some of what you do is beyond your control. Do you do you feel that when people know you have a disability, that they should treat you with a little bit more compassion?
No, I agree with you. I think one of the problems is that I bring stuff on myself. They think I'm doing it to get a reaction out of someone. And granted, sometimes I do like having fun with people, so I do it to get a reaction. But it's one of those things where you say they should be a little more considerate.
So, did you go through the regular school system and high
Yes.
school and college and all of that?
Well, high school, yes. College, no. I was never qualified to go to college.
Okay. And are your parents very supportive?
As far as what it's concerned,
As you know, when, like you say, I bring a lot of stuff on myself. When you do things that land you in situations that are not very comfortable.
they basically say go get a shovel because when you make a mistake, it's really a big mistake. Um, it depends. If it's something that happens that I don't deliberately bring on myself, they're understandable. But if they knew I had a hand in it, they said, you brought it on yourself, you have to deal with it.
I understand. So, have you ever had any type of therapies or anything to help you with whatever your handicap is?
Yes, but it's pretty much, I give you an example. If you were my therapist, you just would say, do what makes you happy. And every day, I'm constantly working on myself. I'm trying to turn myself into a better person. And hey, I'm a work in progress. You know, um,
We all are, even those of us without handicaps. I think life is a work in, our lives are a work in progress.
that's
Sorry, I
true.
didn't mean to interrupt you, but when you said that, I thought that's not a handicap thing.
I give you an example. My family likes poking fun at me for my latest thing. I've been doing this for about 4.5 years, and I'm trying to change up my questions for my talk show. I give you a perfect example of on my talk show. In season one, I would ask you about your career. Then I would ask you about hard-hitting questions. Where do you stand on gun rights? Where do you stand on gay rights? Where do you stand on women's rights? Where do you stand on handicap rights? And I'm like, okay, that's great for 100 episodes. I don't want to sound repetitive. For season two, I would ask you a little more in-depth questions. And what's the last 10 minutes of the show? I'm going to say, hey, if you don't mind me for asking, where do you stand on technology? Where do you stand on celebrities and drug use, steroid use? And I'm like, okay, well, we did 2 seasons of that. I want my show to be different.
Those
Now,
are very controversial topics. Did you get in trouble with people for asking those questions?
not really, a little, but not really. I'm just, I'm just showing people, that I can ask hard-hitting questions too. And people are like, well, what's that have to do with disabilities and everything? So I said, fine. Those were the first 2 seasons.
Right.
Season 3 and 4 keeps the same message. Now, season 5, it's only got to focus mostly on your career, and it will have the same part at the end of the show. I will pass it to you. So, pretty much, season 4, I would ask, how was your life growing up? Did you do any sports? Were you athletic? Who influenced you to start your career? And the same thing towards the end, I would ask you, was there anything you wanted to talk about? And you were on my show. I would ask you, was there anything you wanted to talk about? Anything you want to ask me? I'm an open book. So I'm trying different variations of products and subjects that would say, okay, it's not the same thing in and out for the past 4 years. Season 1 and 2 were one. Let's try to change them up. Things that I like wrestling, cheerleading, the human pyramid stuff, Dumbo, Jungle Book. I look for things I like, and I try to incorporate that into a subject, saying, because I watch a whole bunch of different talk shows. I'm a big wrestling fan. I'm a big fan of Bill O'Reilly, Bill Maher, and I watch their show.
You like Bill O'Reilly, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
I wanted to... Oh, go ahead.
I like Bill Maher as well.
I want to be on both their shows, but unfortunately Fox News chased Bill already. But I'm trying to get Bill on my show. Fingers crossed if that's going to work. But I pretty much look at the same questions they ask, but at the same time, I try to do something that's different. There's never been a talk show out there that talked about pyramids, period. And I was like, well, why not do something different? Why not say, hey, you know what, I'm not, I don't know, I like to be unique. I like creating questions that it's unique, that's different. A lot of people said to me, well, you ask questions that come out of left field. Even my manager has said to me, you probably don't mean it, but you do ask things that come out of left field. And I'm like, is that usually a bad thing? No, I try to be different. Because I'm not trying, to follow you. I'm not trying to follow Bill O'Reilly. I'm not trying to follow, some people who I use for inspirations, like my brother or my dad. I'm not trying to be a carbon copy. This is who I am. This is my life. And I'm going to die doing what I love. And if people are not going to be supportive of me, of what I do in my life, there's the door. And I don't want to have those people in my life. And I'm not saying that to be cute or funny. I mean that. So I always try to be different. And that's when it goes back to what I was saying before. I rub people the wrong way. I rub them saying, you shouldn't say that because you sound like a pervert. Or, you say that and it sounds like a perv. Or either sounds like something's wrong with you, but then they're like, well, you do have a disability, so that goes for it. But, when I think of something, I'm like, it sounds good at the time, and I blur it out. I make sure it's, and then when someone says, what do you mean by that? Then I correct myself and says, well, this is what I mean by it. I explain it word for word of what I'm talking about. So, I understand now. So when I say something, they can, yes, misconstrue what you're saying, but if I explain it exactly what I said and what it means, then they kind of back off a little bit, and if it makes more sense to them. If that makes any sense.
No, I get it. I mean, even I, without a handicap, sometimes will blurt out something that's crossed my mind before I examine the ramifications of blurting it out. And once it's out there, sometimes there's no recovery.
Yeah.
You have to just live with the consequences. But I hope that people who know me know that I am not crude, crass person who wants to hurt people, and that I'm not always going to be perfect. Thank you so, so much. I'm a very privileged woman. I know that. I've been given a lot of opportunities. Some of them I seek them out. I go looking for them. Some of them fall in my lap. I think it's God. He is always guiding me. So you are one of my blessings. Thank you for finding me and reaching out, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.